today I want to talk about a situation that a lot of us iOS developers are in right now. And what that is that there's all this new SwiftUI stuff to work on and to play with, but a lot of us have these huge UIKit projects that we don't really know where to start or how to really start using SwiftUI in certain places. So we kind of just keep using UIKit because, if you need to add a new table view cell to a table, for example, that's kind of an awkward thing to do with SwiftUI without just replacing the entire table view and then kind of like running into a lot of dependency issues and things like that. So today I want to show you a thing I've been doing in my personal stuff where I actually do use SwiftUI just for a certain table view cell's view. But the rest of the UI is actually, we're using UIKit for, we're using an actual table view and all that good stuff. So what I've done here is I have a little sample project where I just have a view controller and a table view, and I'm old-fashioned, so I just created it like this and added it in code rather than using a storyboard. But it's just a table view that takes up the view of the view controller, okay? And what we're going to show is the Oklahoma City Thunder roster, since the NBA bubble is starting to kick up, and I'm a big Thunder fan, so that's what we've done here. Our table view cell is a custom row view cell, and we're giving it a player from our player's data source, which it's just our starting lineup that I made. Okay, and I'll go to the SwiftUI view first. Okay, so as you can see, this is the SwiftUI view. It's nothing special. I just kind of made a little row view with an image and a VStack of the text's name and position for the player. One thing that I do need to do for this to look good in a table view cell, the way I do it, is add some padding. I found that horizontal 20 and vertical 12 seems to look the best, but I'm sure you can tinker with that. But other than that, that's like it. There's nothing fancy about the SwiftUI part, okay? And the other part of it is this custom row view cell. So it takes two pieces really to make this happen. You make a view cell that kind of wraps this SwiftUI view. And what that looks like is, let me get rid of the canvas, is instantiating a table view cell regularly in code. I'm giving it this Thunder player input, but it's whatever you're going to be using it for. Give it the default initializer. Doesn't really matter what you do there because you're not using that part of it. But so we're actually going to instantiate a hosting controller with our custom row view, which was the SwiftUI view I just showed you, and then add that sub view to the content view. So take this hosting controller's view and add it as a sub view to the content view of this table view cell. This is kind of weird for some people because you're creating a view controller but you're not really using it. You're just kind of stealing the view from it. I can see why that would be kind of uncomfortable, but if you're just using a static view and not doing too much fancy things with it, it works. And maybe even, maybe there is a way to do a lot of fancy things with this. I haven't gone that far with it yet, but you would normally just add your constraints here to make it the same size as your content view. So we use the content view here so that we can still use all the native parts of table view cell, like the accessory on the right side. If you use an accessory view or an accessory type like a disclosure indicator, it's going to actually push your SwiftUI view bounds over and make it react to it like it normally should. So that's one nice thing. And then another thing that I do is I take the view of my hosting controller again and give it a clear background color. That way you preserve the selection animation of, with the selection style of a UI table view cell. If you don't do that, then the view of the background view of this hosting controller is going to be in the way of that and you won't actually see that animation. So that's kind of it. You just return this table view cell in your view controller and it works like that. So I'll show you again. Here's my view controller with my data source and my custom cell being returned. Here's my data source, so we should see these 5 players. And just so you know, this is Xcode 12 that I'm running this in. It doesn't have to be Xcode 12. This works in Xcode 11, iOS 13, and up. basically. And there you have it. So here is that view controller that we made, and we have these table view cells, and they are selectable just like that. They don't go anywhere, so it kind of looks awkward how it is, but it's got the disclosure indicator that's coming from the UITableViewCell, and the rest of this is a SwiftUI view. You can mix and match these things. You could have a whole nother table view cell on this list and it wouldn't matter. So you can mix and match SwiftUI and UIKit in the same view this way. I've found this to be super helpful as I'm wanting to add new things to my views, but I don't want to go back to UIKit. So hopefully this kind of opens up ideas for people to start using SwiftUI in ways that maybe aren't in the documentation, but they do work. I'd be glad to answer any questions about this. I'm still, we're all kind of still learning about SwiftUI. So I would also love to hear any feedback on ways that this could be better. So I appreciate you for watching, and catch you in the next one.